Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Beginner English podcast. Today, we have a warm story about a special visit Lily is spending the day at her grandma's house. This episode will help you learn family words and practice talking about past events.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share this story. Family visits are important for so many people, and talking about them is a great way to build confidence with English. We'll use simple vocabulary and clear examples throughout our conversation.
Absolutely. As we listen to Lily and her grandma, pay attention to how they use words like mom, dad, and cousin, and notice how they talk about things they did together last weekend. Let's get started with their friendly hello.
Before we jump in, remember, it's okay to pause and repeat parts of the story if you need extra practice. This is a safe space to learn and enjoy English at your own pace.
So Lily arrives at her grandma's house. She says, "Hi, Grandma. Mom and Dad dropped me off." This is a perfect time to highlight key family words. Can you explain how these are used in daily life?
Of course. Grandma is your mother or father's mother. Mom and dad are your parents. When Lily mentions them, she's using the most common English words for family members. These are words we use every day, whether we're talking about breakfast or planning a visit.
That makes sense. Beginners often mix up aunt, uncle, and cousin. Could you give a simple example to clarify?
Sure, cousin is the child of your aunt or uncle. So, if your mum has a sister, her child is your cousin. These words help us describe our family tree and talk about who we spend time with.
Let's dive into Lily and Grandma's conversation. Grandma greets Lily with, "Hello, Lily, how was school?" This is a common way to start talking. Why is small talk important for language learners?
Small talk helps us connect and show we care. Questions like, "How was your day?" or "Did you eat lunch?" are simple, but they open the door for longer conversations. Practicing these phrases builds confidence for real-life situations.
Exactly. When Lily replies, "School was fun. We painted pictures," she's sharing an activity from her day. This is a great way to practice using the past simple tense in a friendly setting.
Right, and by repeating these patterns question, answer, follow up, you can have smooth, natural conversations with anyone, not just family members.
Now, let's focus on the grammar. Lily says, "We painted pictures." That's a clear example of the past simple tense. Why do we use the past simple when telling stories?
The past simple tense helps us talk about things that already happened. It's like taking a photo of a moment in time. Words like painted, visited, or played all show that something is finished.
Interesting. And for beginners, it's helpful to remember that most regular verbs in the past simple just add ed. Are there some irregular verbs they should watch out for?
Absolutely. Words like go become went, and eat becomes ate. It's good to practice these, and stories like Lily's visit make learning them fun and memorable.
Let's see what Lily and her grandma do together. Lily asks, "Grandma, what did you do today?" And Grandma replies, "I made cookies for us." How can describing home activities help learners use new vocabulary?
Describing daily activities like baking, reading, or playing introduces useful action words. When learners hear phrases like "I made cookies," it's easier to remember because they can picture the action or even try it at home.
That's a great point. Real-world examples stick better. For instance, if a learner bakes cookies with their own grandparent, they're more likely to remember the words and sentence structure.
Exactly. Connecting vocabulary to everyday life helps with long-term memory. Plus, it makes English feel more personal and enjoyable.
Food is always a favorite topic. Lily is excited and says, "Yum, cookies! What kind did you make?" Grandma responds, "Chocolate chip, your favorite." How does talking about food help expand vocabulary?
Discussing food allows learners to use adjectives like delicious, sweet, or homemade. It's also a chance to practice specific nouns, such as cookies, sandwich, or juice. These come up in daily conversations, so it's practical and relatable.
That's true. Even sharing a snack story helps learners practice questions like, "Did you eat yet?" or "What do you like to drink?"
Yes, and learners can try describing their own meals or snacks after listening. This builds confidence and fluency step by step.
Next, Lily asks, "Grandma, what did we do last weekend?" Grandma smiles and says, "We played board games and you won twice." How does recalling past events support language learning?
When learners talk about the past, They practice using verbs like played, won, and visited. Sharing memories makes grammar meaningful, not just a rule to memorize. Plus, stories about weekends or holidays invite more details and keep conversations lively.
That's a good strategy. Maybe listeners can think of their own weekend stories and try telling them in English, even if it's just a few sentences.
Exactly. Even simple sentences like I went to the park or we watched a movie are great practice. The key is to use what you've learned in real situations.
Throughout Lily and Grandma's conversation, we hear repeated questions and answers. Did you? What did you? How was? Why is repetition so effective for beginners?
Repetition builds automatic responses, making it easier to speak without thinking too hard. When you hear and use the same patterns often, like, what did you do today? You become more comfortable and confident.
And these patterns show up everywhere at school, with friends or in shops. Practicing them now prepares you for real conversations.
That's right. By repeating and reusing simple structures, learners develop a strong foundation for more complex English later on.
Let's encourage our listeners to get involved. After hearing Lily's story, we invite you to talk about your own family visits. What simple prompts can help beginners start their own stories?
Great question. Try starting with, last weekend, or I visited my. You can add details. We ate pizza, we watched TV, or we played games. Even short stories help you practice and remember new words.
And if you're not sure what to say, just think about your favorite memory with a family member. Use the past simple tense and family vocabulary we practiced today.
Exactly. The more you speak, the easier it gets. Mistakes are part of learning. What matters is trying and enjoying the process.
Before we finish, it's time for our mini speaking challenge. Can you describe a visit to a family member using 3 sentences in the past simple tense? For example, I went to my aunt's house. We made lemonade. I played with my cousin.
That's a wonderful exercise. Feel free to pause and practice out loud. If you're with a friend, try asking each other, what did you do? Or, did you eat anything special?
Remember, practicing speaking even just a little helps you get better every day. Listening to stories like Lily's and repeating them builds both vocabulary and confidence.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this gentle story and learned something new about family, memories, and English conversation. See you next time for more fun and learning.